saying is, it was ass. Alright? The movie, it was buns. Sorry about that. Molweni, Sanbonani, everybody. It's your boy Ulondi, aka Pantheon GYT, back again with another video. I told y'all we doing our best to stay as consistent as we possibly can in this, final era of the year. If we're gonna be pushing through, let's push through with good vibes. So you heard me speaking about a movie at the beginning of the video. I'm talking about the 28 Moments Later franchise. So I woke up this morning feeling extra eager to actually, watch these movies, because I'd never watched them before. I've heard people talk about them, I've seen what they look like, but I've never given them an actual chance. And for the most part, I would say the movies were pretty good. The movies were actually really, really, really well made. Well, except the third one. Starting off, we have 28 Days Later, right? A movie, a basic movie about a virus that breaks out. Ironically, it ends up hurting people, but it's broken out because of people that wanted to help people and animals, to be more specific. But that's the crazy ironic beginning of the movie. That's the crazy part about it. And the way it develops, it's good, especially with the introduction of Cillian Murphy's character. It introduces the idea of being isolated or isolation, that anxiety or the fear that comes with it. So I did quite enjoy that. Pretty good movie. Overall, pretty good movie. I like the premise of the first one. It had a... Sorry. Go away now. Mind my language. Oh my gosh. So, it had a good flow, right? It had a good linear flow. And it gave you enough insight on events in a very natural way that you were able to fall in love with the characters. Okay, for example, Selena. I absolutely loved Selena. She was fantastic, amazing character, absolutely perfectly written. And just the way you fell in love with the characters was actually insane. You felt a deep, connection, with the emotions. And I guess there's not much more I can say on the first movie, so let's move on to the second one. The second one, oddly enough, was actually made by a totally different director compared to the first movie. Different director, different writers, and that's the really, really cool part. It's how it still managed to retain a strong similarity to the first movie. It felt like a true continuation, like an actual proper sequel that was planned, even though it was actually a standalone film that was a sequel to the first film. I loved Jeremy Renner's character. I think his name was Lieutenant Doyle. He was a sniper, a soldier. The way he just switched up in terms of emotion, it showed how human he is, right? When he saved Tam and Andy, I didn't know who they were, right? Including the other lady, the sergeant, who was a doctor. Although I understand that her actions came with a general motive that these kids' DNA might actually hold the cure, it still feels good to imagine a world where adults would continue to protect children, as they should. But we know that things are extremely different and difficult in the common days or the current era that we're currently in. So, although they were the general zombie apocalypse kind of movie, they were a real breath of fresh air. It's that same feeling that I got when I first watched The Last of Us. Damn, there's a certain sense of kind of realness with these movies, right? And it's just Yeah, man, there's a lot of love there for the characters. Just like the first movie, you take time and you fall in love with the characters and their motives. And then we take a steep and steady jump onto the third film. If we look at this as a linear trilogy, it makes no freaking sense whatsoever. Like the deep dive or like hop, skip, and a jump between the second and the third film is actually friggin' insane. Absolutely insane. It makes zero freaking sense, right? Because they don't link up. So the only plausible way to actually think of the movies are having a singular origin point and then two alternate realities in different times. You know what I mean? So there's the original movie, right? And then there's the initial reality where the sequel occurs 28 weeks later. You know, how things would have turned out or possibly turned out, right? Within a 28-week span. Sorry, I'm kind of out of it right now. Within a 28-week span. It makes perfect sense, right? And then we go back to the origin point, which is the first movie, and then we divulge again towards 28 years later. We see a somewhat linear development in which we notice that humanity has actually devolved. Those that still have their human senses have gone down to becoming medieval, right? And those who lost their senses because of the virus had been demoted to nothing more than instinctual, habitually moving animals, right? Quite similarly to how, cordyceps infects insects and they go about under the control of this fungus to ensure its survival. It's the same thing with the rage virus, okay? And I find it so freaking interesting how it feels like we're playing into a Planet of the Apes kind of trope, but switched heavily onto humanity, the vicious turnaround of how we've devolved from being strong, powerful man to just lowly animal, right? And those that still retain their senses, they've gone from technologically advanced to downright medieval. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a layer, like a top tier thing, like senseful human here, medieval, right? Senseless human here, animal. See what I mean? Yeah. That's just how I'm looking at it, man. But it's quite interesting to see. Sorry if you don't like chewing. I'm so sorry. Despite it, like the second movie, despite it dropping down to a level of medieval times, it still handles itself kind of like a dystopia. Like, we're in semi-medieval England. We're in the British Isles, right? Why do we still know about the old medicines, right? Not like why do we still know about the old medicines, but like why do we know about something like ibuprofen? I want to zero in on the doctor. Dr. Kelson, I believe. Dr. Kelson. Okay. He's a downright quack. Okay, that's what I love about him. I love the actor. He's capable of portraying such quacky roles, such as Dr. Kelson, Lord Voldemort, the owner of that one hotel in that one movie, where it was kind of all pink. And the crazy chef in that other movie. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So it was so weird to see, like, how have we descended into seeing how infected are capable of having non-infected children? Like, what? Also, in what part of the animal kingdom is the actions of the alpha a reality? We take a look at lions, leopards, whatever things come as a pack. We do have the male as a protector of the pack, yes, and the leader and commander of the pack. But they're also still quite lazy. So it's quite odd for me to see the alpha running after the lost child, because in reality that doesn't really happen. It's still the matriarchs that push to fetch that lost cub. So I genuinely believe that there's a lot of inconsistencies with the 28 years later. A lot of inconsistencies. Yes, it is extremely beautiful. It has a lot of new elements, with the advancing in camera technology and cinematography and filmmaking. But with that being said, it lost a lot of what the original movie was. You know, to name a few, it was that deep, dark, gritty, but like angel dust hazy feeling that you'd see in certain images, right? Like that old found footage kind of feel, right? And the motions of the camera, extremely shaky, with the music holding it down on such a level of tension that you felt extreme anxiety. You know what I'm saying? And like the panning motions of the camera, they have this thing where they like to constantly pan upwards. I noticed that. Those are the kinds of things that were lost in the third movie in 28 years later. Like, yes, we have crazy iPhone rigs now and insane camera optics and amazing editing and color grading technology, but it still takes away from the character, the overall character of the film. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know, man. I also didn't like the third film's writing that much. If at all, it made no sense to me. Like, with the amount of time we spent with these characters, I did not fall in love with them. Unlike the first movie and the second movie, where it takes you through multiple events, multiple acts. Like the movies, the first and the second movie, they had multiple acts, right? Multiple scenarios whereby you could see the general thinking of the characters and inevitably fall in love with them. You know? But the third movie is like one or two, three, or like maybe say four at most, like really, really long acts, dragging, like absolutely dragging it. And I don't know, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Like, yeah, you saw your father cheating on your sickly mother. So does that mean take your mother on an extremely dangerous quest where she could possibly die because she's not healthy and because she's being hunted by brooding evil animals that were once humans? Like, have her ripped apart, flesh from bone. She had cancer, dude. She had cancer. We find out later in the movie that the mother has cancer. And then she immediately dies right after that, for her skull to be displayed on top of a pillar of other skulls, where it will forever reach the sun, or something like that. It's absolutely stupid. No, I'm not saying that I could write anything better. Definitely not. I'm not much of a writer. I mean, I used to be more imaginative when I was a child, but not anymore. Like, it's... No. No. They should have taken... Okay, firstly, they should have kept to the old style of recording and editing, right? And then they should have taken into account where the last movie ended, 28 weeks later, and they should have picked up from there. Perhaps the world is now completely cured, they are free from the virus, but then oddly it comes back as it's mutated, right? and they don't know how, but eventually it comes down to the fact that it mutated because the original family, right, that was immune to the virus, upon being administered the vaccine, like their bodies actually changed as the vaccine actually metamorphed into a living, like, version of the virus, like a speck of it that now invaded the DNA of the first immune family, right? And then as generations went along, as the immune family lived on and on and on and on, and humanity knew peace, the virus was actually developing within them, and none of them noticed until maybe, like, then we say 30 years later. You see how that builds into something that's like nice and good storytelling and gritty, and then now they have to recontain this virus, or they meet some kind of fate like the end of the world. Or maybe we see this as the actual true ending of humanity. You see how Demon Slayer portrays demons as like a sense of evolved human despite them being evil. We see this especially with Nezuko Kamado. She's a demon and she's conquered the sun, and she's speaking again. She's conscious. She's a human, but she's superhuman. You know what I mean? That's what's going to be happening in the story as we're thinking about it. That is exactly what is going to be happening. Sorry. And then the human, like the Homo sapiens, they fight off their last ditch effort, but none of them survive, and we enter into a new era where we have maybe Homo regio sapien, something like that, something that's to do with the rage virus developing and evolving. And then we have a last look at human society, and it looks like normal human society all over again. Everybody's happy, everybody's just living life, and we just cut to black. We should try and get them on this, actually. We really should. It would make so much money. Like, they should make this as an apology to fans. I'm freaking telling you. But yeah, guys, that was just me rattling and rambling on and on and on and on about this movie trilogy that I just watched. My friend Matthew actually was the one who suggested that I watch it, and I have, and it was good up until the third movie. I'm not sure if I've already said this in the video, but they basically pulled a Planet of the Apes on the third movie, and I'm talking the more modern remakes. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes, and then we have Planet of the Apes. Makes everything seem like it was kind of all for nothing. Like, what was the freaking point? That's just me analyzing the movies as I see them, guys. If you guys have any other opinions on the movie, tell me, please. Do put it in the comment section below. Like the video, share it, turn on your notification bell so you know every single time I upload. And yeah, I guess I'll be seeing you guys next time I make a video. I'm still going to be making that content creator step-by-step video for you guys. And you'll find my email in the description box below. Send me content ideas. What videos do you want me to do? And alright guys, adios.